The Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's all about perception, people, right? If you judge a book by the cover, then you sure as hell better judge the look by the lover. Oh, the great ABC. Are you kidding me? Take me back to the 80s. Some rock and roll as we move towards the mid part of May. And no place I'd rather be than right here in Jacksonville. And the beautiful new plush studios here on Bowden Road. Are you kidding me? What a week. I mean, we have reaction from Jaguars rookie minicamp over at the Miller Electric Center on Saturday. The weather did its part. A little tame. Wasn't humid. Wasn't hot. It was nice to get out there. 27 new members of the Jaguars at work. A couple of second-year guys were out there working as well. One of those no longer a part of the football team in Jaquindon Jackson. I'll be the first to raise my hand and say it. You know, there's a lot of people in this profession who will never, ever, 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 ever do it and say, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I am. I mean, this guy looked really good a year ago. Now, it's very crowded. It's, you know, too many chefs in the kitchen, so to speak, and, you know, you add Amir Abdullah today. But again, I'll say it. And if you think less of me for admitting it, fine. Bring it to us here over the next couple of hours on into the night. But I did not see this one coming with Jaquindon Jackson. Also a pretty good effort out there with Jamari Taylor, who I thought would be a little bit taller. I don't want to go down the Maurice Jones-Drew road with him. I kind of did a little bit a year ago, you know, in describing Bashel Tootin, who was a lot thicker than I imagine. That's what I'm going to talk about early on tonight is the body, okay? Because you don't see any team drills. You don't see guys going up against one another. It's tough to pinpoint exactly what they're doing against someone else. It's all against it's all just them out there catching footballs. You know, you go to the offense, defensive line. It's almost impossible to really get any type of feeling there outside of the way that they look. And that can be just incredibly misleading. I mean, how many guys have we seen over the years that look like the all-airport players? Right? Remember Cole a couple of years ago, the tremendously sized defensive end. He was at a directional school for 4 years, and then I guess he went off to Texas Tech for his final season. Miles Cole, man. I mean, if I'm walking down an alley, all right, and you know there's a chance that could happen here in Duval, you just never know, right? I mean, for crying out loud, I don't have to worry about it in my bedroom. Part of the great town of Duval out in Bartram, where things shut down at like 8 o'clock at night. Bartram's just insane right now. I think everyone who moves in the town says, you know, I'm going to move into Nocatee or I'm going to move into Bartram. I went back door after Jaguars practice Saturday at the Miller Electric Center, had to find a place to get some flowers, right? Some roses for the GF to celebrate Mother's Day. And I hope all you out there, moms, whether you're a young mom, whether you're a mom where everyone is out of the nest, I hope you had an outstanding Mother's Day. I really do. And, you know, I cut up kind of through the back part. I forget the name of that road that takes you right up to Racetrack. And when you get there, there's I think it's an Island Wings, and they got some other places. You take a left, and it's a 1 mile rip from there to Bartram Springs, where I live. Bro, it took me 30 minutes. 30 minutes to go 1 mile. And, I never complain about the traffic here because there isn't traffic here. You want traffic, go to Chicago. You want traffic, go to Boston. You want traffic, go to Houston or Dallas or Los Angeles. I think there's a lot of stupid driving around here. I think you fall into a rain coma, and we need it. I also absolutely know that this city needs a full-out lesson when it comes to merging. If I had any say, and one of these days, I'm going to run for politics. And I tell you the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to tax the rich and I'm going to feed the poor. And then I'm going to go to every other person, or make that every person in this city, and bring him back into driving school and teach him how to merge. Because this city does not know how to merge. But my God, man, can't you put a sensor on a light? I mean, we're flying people to the freaking moon. Can't you get it set that if traffic is not coming east and west or north or south, can't you censor it where you don't have to wait through a complete light change? Put something up there where you're able to cheat your way through it or limit it. To me, it would sound it just seems so ridiculously easy, but maybe Jacksonville's behind times a little bit.
Yeah, that's a problem throughout the whole city with those timed lights, dude. It's such an easy fix, and I don't know why we just decide not to do anything about it.
When I was in
city, get on that, man. It's super annoying.
Denver last summer, Phoenix in February, the sensors are everywhere. You don't wait for some. Here you do.
Oh, yeah. The worst is like a Sunday, and it'll be like nobody on the road, and you're waiting forever on a sensor just because it's, I guess, the same time as it would be on a Monday or Tuesday. Like, get it together, folks.
Get with the program. And don't act like the NCAA and tell us that you're underfunded and you're understaffed. Fix it. Okay? Fix it. It's as simple as that. Okay. So anyway, you don't need to move to my neighborhood anymore, okay? There's enough people there. And those damn Yankees, too, man. I can't believe they're coming from all over. I want people born and bred right here in Duval, except for me, of course, who left when I was 18. But what a week. I mean, this is what's so great about the offseason. We have reaction from minicamp today. I am so fired up for it. Hope you are as well. We have the schedule getting released on Thursday night, and there's so much that is leaking and leaking and leaking. And someone sent me a schedule that have the Jaguars like opening up on, and I'll have to look at it again. It was either like Monday night or Sunday night football against the New York Giants, and it's like, bro, they took the lights down. Okay, so whoever came out with that schedule may want to go back to the drawing board and try to figure it out, because we know that the lights have been removed downtown at the bank. But anyway, I appreciate the effort. It's always a lot of good. We have our second major coming up beginning on Thursday from Newton Square, or actually it's Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. Last year's champion, Scotty Scheffler, very competitive match yesterday. Some leaderboard changes on the back nine. And again, I think the PGA Tour has been absolutely sensational this year. And then, of course, we continue through everything that is happening in both the NBA and the NHL playoffs. Some really good stuff going on there in both on the court as well as on the ice. So, to me, I'm very excited about what is going to happen this week. Okay, here's what I think we should do. When we come back from our first break, I want to play an interview I did with Tanner Koziel. I think you'll like the young kid. Very, very well-mannered, well-respected. And, he looked all of 6'7". But I say this in the interview. When I stood next to him and asked him some questions, this kid looks like he weighs about 220 pounds, 225 pounds. He's listed at 250. And to me, that is so incredibly encouraging, because with a 6'7" frame, it's a thin frame. It's one that you can envision this strength and conditioning program really adding a lot of weight. The only risk is losing speed, right? You don't want to add too much weight if it takes away your speed. And if you go back and you watch his highlight package or anything that is out there that is viral, this kid will run all over the football field for you. He'll go over the middle. He'll play the sideline. He'll do all sorts of different things in his route tree. I read a couple of scouting reports that criticized his route tree. I found that interesting, and I think the reason why that was stated is there's not separation from him and whoever it was that was covering him in college. Remember, he went to 3 different schools. Ball State, went to Wisconsin for a spring, 15 practices, then transferred over to Houston and had just a very incredible season, a very productive season. But you don't necessarily need separation when you're 6'7", especially if you have a guy who is a marksman. And that's always been a question with Lawrence, right? The kind of the layups, if you will. Do you have to throw a Nolan Ryan 100-mile-per-hour fastball if you're throwing a screen or you're dumping it off to a tight end who's, 7-8 yards off the line of scrimmage, something along those lines? I think Trevor's gotten better, and my opinion would be that that's going to get even better as he really begins to settle into what I think is going to be the prime of his career. Remember, this football team improved by 9.1 points per game a year ago. I mean, that's insane. That's 2 possessions. And that's exactly what Jacksonville did. So I think you'll enjoy that. That's coming up on the other side. Then I'm going to run through what I saw. Some guys I'm basically not even going to comment on. And for the most part, those are guys in the ditch just because you can't really tell. But there were some others, including a couple of surprises and overall some really good news, I thought, coming out of the Jaguars minicamp on Saturday. So, this week there'll be nothing. And then I want to say the next time they get out there, I'll check my notes, but I want to say it is May 26th is the next time that there will be a practice, and that'll be with their entire 90-man roster. So that'll be very cool to witness that. And I think we have 5 or 6 different opportunities to watch them in late May and in early June until camp kicks off, probably around, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of July. Folks, it's going to be here before you know it. It's already mid-May. Again, it's already mid-May. You got the PGA Championship coming up, and you got the schedule release coming up. Time is flying by. Don't be afraid to sit back and enjoy this ride. And speaking of which, we'll go the other way with that. Don't know if you saw the comments that were made today that came out of Bleacher Report, but I read it, and I was like, what in the world are you talking about? If you don't know what I'm talking about, good. We'll get to it coming up in just a little bit. All right, do want to thank the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. For the most part, practice on Saturday was right in front of us at the Miller Electric Center, but there were times they were off on the other field. It's a very good thing that I have 20/20 vision, that I'm able to see everything that is going on. You may not have 20/20 vision. If that's the case, set up an appointment today at Shmunez Vision. Get the very latest as far as a prescription, sure. But what about laser eye surgery? What about having 20/20 for the rest of your life? What about never having to deal with finding your readers or having to, maybe pass out with your contacts in? You know what that feeling is like when you get up? It's just horrible. 37 years, more than that now, worth of experience when it comes to surgery with Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt. You can check them out online. Go to Shmunez Vision. You can also go to Instagram. Get the very latest as well at Shmunez Vision as far as all of the testimonials are concerned. All right, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We are. Let's relive what happened on Saturday at the Jaguars rookie minicamp. Much more to do as well. JJ LaSalva is here. My name is Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night.
Dan Hicken.
What's your blood type? Let's be positive, just like my life outlook.
Jeff Prosser.
Guy who calls himself the bad boy of mini golf.
Together they are The Drill.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
He tackles talk radio like a middle linebacker in the gap.
I tell it like I see it, and I see it like a middle linebacker.
Tommy Mack. Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unsealed by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Springtime is the perfect time to get your home organized. Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and I love our closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live. From closets and garages to entertainment centers, laundry rooms, and storage for any space and budget. Make an appointment to tour their showroom on Phillips Highway and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off for installation and 18 months special financing. Schedule your free consultation at 904-878-9393 or find them online, closetsbydesign.com.
Attention golfers. The all-new Back 9 Golf Lakewood is now open with free-hour demos, discounts on founding memberships, 24-hour access, and you can even bring your own food and drinks. University in San Jose. Back 9 Golf Lakewood.
Hi, I'm Blake Bortles. People know I've always said if I wasn't playing football, I'd probably be on a construction site. So Next Gen Roofing finally let me live the dream.
Blake, why are you wearing a red practice jersey?
Always worn it for safety.
Right. Well, around here, the red jersey means you're the new guy. So you're in charge of garbage cleanup.
Perfect. I love garbage time. Always excelled in it.
It's not exactly what I meant.
Good thing Next Gen Roofing has real pros handling everything from family homes to large commercial buildings. Next Gen, teamed up with you.
Teamed up with you.
Memorial Day, friends, family, great food is what we look forward to all year. But when your septic system decides it wants to be part of the conversation, yeah, nobody wants that. Getting a pump out now is a smart move before things get, let's just say, uncomfortable. Duck Rooter, Northeast Florida's only master septic contractor. They've seen it all, and they get it right the first time. Right now, get $50 off septic tank pumping. Keep the memories, not the mess. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
I'm the thread that's already inside the house. In the closet, under the bed, in the car. But I don't want your money or your TV. I can't be scared away or negotiated with. I'm patient and quiet. I don't sleep. You can't call the cops on me. You can't even see me. I'm the threat of family fire. And as long as your guns aren't stored securely, I'll be there. Protect your family. Secure all your guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
When your world is full of strange arrangements.
Don't even tell me I don't have an advanced library when it comes to rock and roll. In other genres. A, B, C. It's on your Walkman, JJ LaSelva?
Never heard of it.
Really?
And so just now, I listened to it a little bit earlier when you brought it up. I've never even heard of the band before.
Yeah, I think they were a one-hit wonder, but they were part of the 80s rock.
I could tell.
Big hair. Cocaine.
80s English band.
I was going to say safe.
They have that like little flock of seagulls look, sort of.
I was going to say safe you know what until word got out that Magic Johnson contracted the virus. I was sitting in the Seminole Barber Shop, which was really a putt away from the old Osceola, which was a great weekly Florida State publication back in the day, which would have been 7-9 from the stadium. And it's a barbershop. It costs probably $8 to get your haircut back then. Actually, this would have been 90, maybe 90, 91 would match. So it wouldn't have been in the 80s. But anyway, there's probably 14 dudes sitting down. So I'll read in the paper, waiting to get called up. Some dude walks in. Magic Johnson has AIDS. There wasn't a sound. You just saw the mouth open of 14, 18, the 21, 22-year-old red-blooded men who were like, what? And if you think of that time and that era and all of the misinformation, wrong information, and on top of that, the perception that people like I had and how that changed from that moment on.
It was a death sentence, most people thought. Like, well, now he's only got however long to live or whatever. And, I couldn't imagine being around back then for a live moment. Like, I don't think there's anything in my lifetime to really, that equals that I can't think of. Like an I guess, Tiger had his off the court, off the field stuff, but never like a diagnosis like that.
There were quite a few because you had the space shuttle, which was just awful. And you had some assassination attempts. But if you just talk about something that just off the cuff, because there was that feeling that relations between man and woman never this could happen.
Statistically, I don't want to go down that road, but it's very, 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 it's like 5,000 to 1 odds that you can get that even from someone who has it in a male and female.
And those would be considered low odds then. It was almost like it's like when I talk about going into the ocean. Oh, you're not going to get bit by a shark. It's the same. I mean, that's just, but when the magic thing happened, all of a sudden it was like, whoa. Wait a minute now. Anyway, that song ABC. You got the look. Good stuff. No doubt about it. All right, tonight's show is brought to you by the good folks over at Miller Electric. They're hiring. I'm going to tell you about them in just 1 minute. But let's get to Tanner Koziel. Caught up with him after practice on Saturday. He looks very athletic. He's got soft hands. Again, I think he's got a body that is made to add very good weight. He could be the ultimate wild card in this draft class. As you know, the big-bodied wide receiver, in this case, tight end, hasn't been around here. And it's something that obviously Lawrence had on Saturday back during his career while he was in college. I caught up with Tanner Koziel after the rookie minicamp at the Miller Electric Center on Saturday. And the first thing I asked them was, hey, you basically dodged the bullet today. No humidity.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
Feels good, honestly. It feels great out here. Being in Houston for a year was great. Gets hot out there, gets humid, but I felt really good out there.
Midwest and everything you did in your career, how valuable was that to spend 1 year in Houston where it's really hot? I think the humidity is going to be different here once you really settle in.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting used to that heat, knowing how to prepare for it, knowing what you need to do, how to hydrate, how to treat your body, what to eat. It's really important, just the supplements to take to hydrate and make sure your body's prepared for it.
What do you make of all this? Your career, including, Wisconsin for 15 practices, and going off to Houston, 3 different colleges, and now coming to the Miller Electric Center, an operation like this. What's it been like as far as your early experience?
It's just been awesome. The people here are second to none. The people I've met already are just so open and welcoming, and I've got nothing but gratitude for where the Lord's put me. And the people here have just truly treated all of us with open arms, and it's just so fun to be here. And I'm excited to get to the facility every day, meet new people, and just talk to more people.
What have they said to you about right out of the gate? Expectations for you year one?
Nothing about that. Just get here and learn. Add value as a person in the locker room, on the field. Just adapt to the team and be yourself, number one. Like how I led in college, how I led at my schools. Just lead the same way. Be who you are and really just learn and learn and learn and adapt.
6'7", 250. I mean, you look like you weigh 220, so you have a body frame that can certainly add great weight. hopefully without the risk of losing any speed. Have you had conversations yet about that?
Not yet, no, but I bet that we will, and I'm excited to see that the strength staff here has been awesome. And I'm really excited that I get to work with them.
Loved your route tree. Everything I watch everything that's viral out there, and not afraid to go over the middle. Certainly use the sideline. Just talk about what your experience was like in different offenses and being able to basically do everything when it comes to catching the football.
Yeah, it was really just the coach's hands that I was put in. They really trusted me with a lot of things, and I was able to learn and execute the plays that were called to how they wanted them to be executed. And just being a quarterback's best friend, being very quarterback friendly in my routes and using my body to my advantage and knowing how the quarterback's going to want me on different routes or what he sees and like the leverage that I have, just using all that to my advantage and, again, using my size as much as possible to my advantage.
Trevor Lawrence has had big-bodied guys at Clemson that were very productive. Around here, many have come through camp, but it hasn't transitioned on the field in the NFL. That's something that I think a lot of people, including myself, look at you as being a red zone target, taking advantage of your height. How much have you allowed that to really settle in, that could be a huge possibility for you, even as a rookie?
Yeah, that would be great. Obviously, I love the opportunity for what I'm great at, but overall, just being great all around, being great in the run game, excelling in there, and then just really whatever's asked me to do, just get that job done and executing it. Obviously, the red zone is where I've excelled, especially in college, but just continue to get better in all aspects of the game and continue to even get better in the red zone and what I can do there.
Last thought, a lot of positives there. A negative would be run blocking. They say you're a pass-catching tight end. How do you react when you are told, no, he can't be an every down tight end because right now he's not a good run blocker?
Yeah, well, I think I have the capabilities to do it, absolutely. And number one, I'm ready to work, and I'm ready to get better and better every single day and just continuing to get 1% better in the run game every single day, adding strength, technique with Coach Angulo, and just continuing to dominate every day and just getting better.
There you have it. Tanner Koziel, 3 schools in 5 years, 6'7", 250 with a frame to add weight. No doubt about it. All right, let me give you a couple of thoughts on this. First off, I apologize for Mia screaming in the background, but she's very excitable. What else can I say? He's going to have to prove that he can get it done in the ditch when it comes to run blocking and pass protection if asked. Right now, I would assume that there's not, any shot of that happening in the next couple of months. I just don't think he has the frame. And obviously, if you look at this football team and what they have, Quentin Morris can help out in that. I haven't even talked about the top overall pick yet. I'm going to get to Borkircher here coming up momentarily, who's looks like the exact opposite of Koziel, right? And even though I will say with Borkircher, he looked decent. He didn't look as athletic as Koziel. He did not look as fast as Koziel. He did not look as good of an athlete as Koziel. But I think we know that this year, these two tight ends are going to be asked to do two totally different things. And it's going to be fascinating to watch this. I think Koziel was arguably the best-looking player on the field Saturday. And, I gotta be honest with you. I paid a ton of attention to him in Borkircher. I watched the wide receivers, and, unfortunately, Josh Cameron was off on the side. He had something going on, but he wasn't working drill-wise. And, they're not going to get into injuries during this part of the offseason, but we didn't get that opportunity to see him, which was a little bit disappointing. But nonetheless, that's just simply the way that it was. I'll get to some other guys here coming up in a little bit. I do want to stay with Koziel, but just let it settle in for 1 second. I mean, if this kid puts forward the work and really improves his body and gets bigger and gets thicker, and, I keep mentioning speed. I don't know if speed's ever going to be a factor. I read some scouting reports on this where they question his speed. They also question his route running. I read all the reaction from everyone who was out there at practice on Saturday. It was all positive, right? And some even said they thought he looked fast. He didn't look fast to me, okay? He looked average. He didn't look fast. But do you have to be at 6'7"? Can't you just use your height? And can't he get on the same page with Trevor Lawrence, who, again, as you know, has the experience with big-bodied wide receivers at Clemson? And we could go through the list of player after player after player after player that we talk about every offseason who's trying to make this football team as like the 5th wide receiver or maybe the 6th wide receiver, a big body guy, and it doesn't pan out. Could they get that now with this tight end? I think it's a real possibility. And again, it was only his first practice, a mini session. And nonetheless, I thought it was a good day one for him. All right, tonight's show was brought to you by the Miller Electric Company. Again, it was great to be out there on Saturday. Their best facility in the NFL, hands down. I hope the Jags can get a team to come in here and practice in very early August after going out on the road a year ago. I don't know why they wouldn't want to come here. Again, it's a tremendous practice facility. But they've been around now for 98 plus years, and they are consistently recognized as one of the top companies in Duval. They are hiring. If you are interested, and it really doesn't matter, any entry is possible for you, okay? Obviously, they're looking for current electricians. If you feel you're undervalued, if you feel you're underpaid, you're just unhappy, go to millercareers.com. If you just got done with college and you're like, man, I don't know if I can go back. I can't afford it. College isn't for me. I want to trade. What about being an electrician? millercareers.com. If you're in another profession and you just don't see that it's going to lead to anything that is successful for you, again, become an electrician. Go to millercareers.com. Top pay, incredible benefits, and what a culture. I'm actually going to see Journey Saturday night with several folks over at Miller Electric. They're such a great company, a great group of guys, great group of women. It's the type of company you would like to work for. If you want to be part of that culture, just go to Miller Careers and get all of the information as they are hiring. All right, we got a ton to do. Your reaction to Tanner Cozio, 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also join us tonight on YouTube. Go to 1010XL into the night.
Jaguars, Gators, and First Coast Fun. Look out for The Lead with Hayes Carline and Ryan O'Halloran. Friday afternoons 4 to 6 on 1010XL, starting May 15th.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Bring your home back to life with Zero Res, a fresher clean that you can actually feel. This month, take 25% off all services, hardwood tile, LVP, carpet, air ducts, and more. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them 1010XL sent you.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
It's golfing season, man. When it comes to Live Forever Golf, it's Live Forever together forever with me. The fit's absolutely fantastic. So comfortable. And I say this coming from a guy who has been 40 years buying golf apparel. Everything from polos to shorts, belts, hats, any accessory. When you go to liveforevergolf.com, you're going to see the new drops. You're going to see the deals. You're going to see all the advantages. Join the liveforevergolf.com nation. Shop today at liveforevergolf.com.
Right now, Renewal by Andersen is giving you the power to choose. For a limited time, pick the offer that works best for you. Take 20% off your entire window and door project or enjoy 24 months of special financing. That's no money down, no payments, and no interest for 2 full years. Our energy-efficient windows and doors keep your home cooler in the Florida heat, reduce drafts, and can help lower your energy bills. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hi, Frank Frangie here, inviting you to join my wife and me June 22nd of 2027 as we experience the food, wine, and culture of iconic Italy with Colette. Our journey takes us to historic cities and enchanting medieval towns. We'll enjoy a wonderful 7-night stay in the Montecatini Term A famous resort and spa town nestled in the heart of the rolling hills of Tuscany. Visit the cultural treasures of Florence, Pisa, and lovely Lucca. Along the way, we'll discover the food, wine, and old world charm, and even have a special chef-led cooking class. This and so much more. Colette handles the details, flights, hotels, meals, and the local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss joining my wife and me in Italy. Now, to learn more, visit 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
Come away with me.
That's 1010XL.com or call Colette at 800-581-8942.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
With you tonight till 8 o'clock. It'll be a great week around here. Plenty on the Jags. Reaction from rookie minicamp on Saturday over at the Miller Electric Center. And, of course, the schedule release coming up on Thursday night. So, great week locally as far as the Jags and, of course, nationally. Every sport. I mean, baseball's nuts. Loving it. And certainly the playoffs, NBA, NHL. Not to mention the second major, the PGA Championship coming up beginning on Thursday. Did you watch the Chimaev fight on Saturday night?
I saw that he lost.
He was a 6-1 favorite.
Well, I saw the weigh-in, and he looked really drained.
Yeah.
Like really, really bad. And they also looked like they kind of fixed the way, like the bar was still kind of moving, and they're like, oh, it's fine. It's good enough. 185. So I had an inkling that it wasn't going to go the way he expected, because if you just struggle to make weight like that, it's really rough to be able to just wrestle a guy for 5 rounds, which he is a wrestler. He's a grappler. But I'm glad to see the American one. I'm tired of UFC being overtaken by all these guys, these wrestler grappler guys from Eastern Russia or like Georgia or whatever, where you can't say their names. So I was happy to see that he lost.
Strickland was just an enormous underdog in this fight. And, they went after one another for 25 minutes. But as soon as the fight was over, Chimaev went to Dana White and said, let's do it again, this time at 220.
That's what I was going to say. It had to be at a bigger weight.
Dropping the weight. And, I became a fan of Chimaev. He was here. I want to say it was maybe it was the last time or the second to last time the UFC came through Duval. Chimaev fought here and actually got taken to the distance during that particular fight. But, I look at the odds, and we talked about it briefly last week with Rafael Esparza. He was a 6-1 favorite, and he lost on a split decision.
Yeah,
one judge picked him. The other two judges picked Strickland.
Yeah, I guess he got outboxed, which that's Strickland's thing. He's going to beat him off that jab. So, listen, it's weird in UFC. Like, there's these guys that are grappler-wrestler guys, and then there's a guy like Strickland who's a boxer guy. So a guy like Chimaev doesn't necessarily know how to, cut the ring off and walk a guy down. A guy like Strickland can just live off his jab and just beat up a guy the entire fight. Not necessarily an exciting fight, but if you're just going to come walk at me and not know what you're doing, I'm just going to pound you with this jab, and that's what happened.
Now, I say this respectfully all the time because these are women who are athletes. But I'm not a fan of watching women fight.
Me neither.
I just don't.
I totally check
like it. And this deals with everything. I mean, I don't know how it happens, but I get all these reels or whatever it is and things that pop up. And here's typically what I get: old men walking puppies down the beach.
A lot of dog stuff.
Okay, I get a lot of that. Get a lot of stuff sent to me about arts and crafts and visiting museums and.
Okay, you're a history guy, of course.
All right, I'm kidding on both. I get what most real men get. Okay, meat and potato stuff, maybe a bikini here, a guy hitting the ball 200 yards with a 9-iron. I mean, I get things that we really care about.
Street fight videos.
But I get all these street fight videos. And when it's girl on girl, I immediately say, I don't want to watch it.
The worst.
I don't want to watch it. I don't even want to think, probably because I have 2 daughters. I don't know what it is. But the Ronda Rousey-Gina Carano fight is coming up.
Which just shows like the level that MMA is at right now when it comes to no stars, that they're having to bring people like that back, which is sad.
It is sad. Is it this Saturday that they're actually? I'm looking it up right now to try to find out exactly when that is going to be. But I want to say it's coming up this week. I could be incorrect with that. But, you're talking about a lot of folks from yesteryear coming back. And again, you talk about face value or the lack thereof. I mean, that is a sport that is just, I wouldn't say it's dying because if.
Oh, I would.
Where do you think it's going to go away?
No, I don't think it's going to go away.
But
I think it's going to go to the way of boxing. And
and
if
that's
you
too
can't
bad.
produce stars,
how
then
can
you
they
don't
not
have
though?
a sport.
How can they not produce a star?
I think so. MMA is weird that you can be skilled. So, like I just said, there's these wrestler grappler guys. Literally, like 75% of the roster on UFC, I feel like, is these Eastern European wrestlers. And they are, first of all, their names are incredibly hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
They don't speak English well. And their fighting style is incredibly boring. I'm not saying it doesn't take skills to wrestle and grapple. It obviously does. But as a viewer, nobody wants to watch that crap. It's so incredibly boring, man. There's a reason why wrestling is not a popular. I'm not talking about professional wrestling.
Right.
Like collegiate wrestling is not a popular sport. It's because it's boring.
But I even think pro wrestling is not where it once was.
Probably. I don't know anything.
Now, see, I go in and out of that. And I've been out now for way over a half decade. It's probably been longer than that. It's probably been 7 or 8 years. There was a time on Monday night when I would go home, I'd have both on. I'd have the WCW on, I'd have the WWF on, then it became the WWE. I mean,
that was my era.
There's no doubt.
Oh, that was the best.
And you had so many great superstars. And frankly, the wrestling to me was like, the gravy. To me, it was all about the interviews. It was all about Pearl Harboring a guy, in the dressing room and behind the scenes. But it's a really fascinating point that if you look at heavyweights right now, whether it is in wrestling, boxing, or MMA, totally lacking.
I don't even know who. I mean, boxing has like Fury, who's a crazy character. But the problem with Tyson Fury is he's like, every other fight is his quote last fight. Like he's going to retire, but now he's coming back. Like he's constantly retiring. Same with Deontay Wilder. So now hopefully we get like Fury versus Anthony Joshua. In heavyweight MMA, I don't even know who's the guy now. Like, who has the belt in UFC? I have no idea. They just haven't done a good enough job creating stars in the UFC since the era of like Conor and Aldo and guys like that. There's just no household names anymore. Sean Strickland is probably one of the more famous UFC fighters, and that's because he talks a bunch of crap, which is important.
Well, look at Conor McGregor.
But Conor McGregor was world class.
He was,
too.
but I think he's lost, his last 3 fights or 3 of the last 4?
I don't even know when the last time he fought was.
It's been close to 5 years.
Yeah.
And I don't remember when Radio Row was important, I can't remember if it was in Seattle, if it was in Phoenix, or where it was. But I interviewed Wilder, and I was like the only one to sit down and this before he was the heavyweight champ.
Right.
Conor McGregor was in the room. And there were probably 100, 150 people that had circled him, that were trying to get their mics in his face, to try to get a comment. And again, that was when he was at his biggest. I mean, this is going back, I'm guessing, 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I mean, he somehow finagled his way into a Mayweather fight.
Oh, yeah.
With his celebrity. Like, he made hundreds of millions off of that fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wilder,
so many big guys out there. I just can't believe he can't fight. I mean, growing up in the 70s, that was the greatest era for heavyweight boxing.
Yeah.
And you could lose. I mean, Ken Norton would lose. Muhammad Ali would lose. Larry Holmes, the Spinks brothers would lose. I mean, Joe Frazier.
That was
crying out loud.
A big problem with boxing, not only with pay-per-view, but
George Foreman. I mean, he just went on and on and on.
Exactly. The problem is not only pay-per-view and how hard it was to watch fights, but like you said, we made, as a boxing public and promoters and the media and everything, we made it so important to keep that O, to keep that 0 next to your name. Undefeated meant so much. I think Floyd Mayweather really did unfortunately, a bad job of or a good job of making his 0 important, but that affected everyone else. So everyone was so scared to lose their O that they wouldn't fight each other for the longest. We still haven't had Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, which is the one we all wanted.
I know, we never got it.
Hopefully we will, but it's years too late.
Remember when he fought, did he fight Fury when he came
3 times.
with all that?
Yeah.
I'm talking about when he had all the armor on.
Yeah, and he blamed that.
Talk about dropping weight. He lost like 20 pounds walking to the ring.
He said I was so tired from the weight of bringing that in that it helped me or hurt me in the loss.
All right, we got to take a break. Tomfoolery, though. I said that I fooled my bosses in Chicago that I knew something about NASCAR. Simply so they would send me back here yearly to cover the Daytona 500. I get a full week out of the deal. The other thing I fooled them on is that I knew something about boxing. And they had a big deal with the Mandalay Bay, and at the time, the hotel right next to it, which was called The Hotel. And the late Bert Sugar would join me, and the late Gil Brandt would join. Well, they'd send me out to cover a fight, and I'd be trying to build up Lennox Lewis against Callie Meehan for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Just a tomato can.
I mean, that's what it was like, live from the Mandalay Bay. So I can't figure out what's gone wrong. But that is boxing. And unfortunately, right now, they are dealing with some of these problems in the UCF.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Northeast Florida isn't just where we work. It's our home. I'm Chris Campione, and when an accident turns your life upside down, you need a law firm that truly understands this community. At Campione Law, we treat our clients like neighbors, not case numbers, and you don't pay a dime unless we recover for you. From semi-truck accidents to medical malpractice and even workers' compensation, we handle it all. Visit CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Count on Campione. Campione Law.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Picket here for nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools have been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools, summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
Spend a night in the big 80s. It's the ultimate Bon Jovi tribute. Don Jovi playing all the hits. A high-energy performance that'll blow your mind. Don Jovi. Friday, May 15th at Thrasher Horn Center. Tickets start at just $24. Don't miss Don Jovi live.
The Golf Club at Southampton is super excited for what's next, and that's brand new greens and plenty more to add to your golfing experience. While renovations are underway, you can still come out, hit the practice area, and keep your game sharp. Plus Thursday night trivia, always fun, and music on Friday nights on the patio. Check it all out at golfsouthampton.com or their Facebook page. Membership opportunities right now where you can take advantage of a great deal before the renovation is complete. Call 287-PLAY and check out the latest from the Golf Club at Southampton.
Here's good advice from your friends here at 1010XL. I'm Frank Frangie. The next time you need to send a gift for a birthday, anniversary, wedding, or just for the fun of it, call the experts at Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers does it right.
And welcome back to another episode of Potty Talk with our current champion. So what's your secret to your perfect plumbing proficiency?
It's simple, really. Roland Reach Plumbing is always the right answer.
Roland Reach Plumbing, 260-7059.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect pair for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too. From Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Trying to be good around these parts. I'm going to hit the first break on time. Second one, not so much. So this is going to be a fast one. Get ready for next hour, which is going to involve you and your questions. A lot of reaction from my 30-minute trip down racetrack, a 1-mile jaunt that took quite some time. I try to make it my best not to complain about the traffic here in Jacksonville. But the 8799 says, Ballou, if there's a red light and no one is at the light, run it.
Oh, geez.
So there's some advice. Also, the 4950 says, Ballou, moving to town. I live in Lakewood where University and San Jose meet. No traffic. All the traffic moved south with you guys. I have no idea how you stand. First of all, I can't believe San Jose and no traffic are in a sentence, because that I disagree. Plus, you got to look out. Every third car is a guy on a bike, and they just, there's not a road in Jacksonville that deals with more recreational bikers than San Jose Boulevard. And they're just all over. Be careful, people.
With the way gas is right now, I'm thinking about being a bike
Woo!
guy. Holy crap.
I'm going to move across over here to Bowden Arms.
Just so you can walk to work
I mean,
every
that's
day.
it. Yeah. I mean, driving to work here every day, it'd be cheaper to rent an apartment across the street.
I know they'll accept you. It looks like they're accepting just about anyone in there.
Yeah. So, and we'll see what happens there. But we are going to grab your questions in the second hour. Something was stated today. I try not to do this much, but I'm also a hypocrite. Nationally about the Jaguars, which just blew me away, okay? The first part of it is understandable. The reasoning is just absurd. If you don't know what I'm talking about, good. It's coming up next.
He's the Belichick of fantasy football.
We're on to Cincinnati.
And he doesn't cheat.
No, it's a conversation for later.
Mike Dempsey, 10 to noon weekdays.
We're getting ready for Cincinnati.
On 1010XL.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
There's no doubt that we were in good hands when our son's shoulder and hip issues were diagnosed quickly by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. No matter what your orthopedic issue is, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take a look. You'll be glad you did.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Frank Ranger here with Coach Delaney from Coil Fencing. You've been building winning teams at Fletcher for years. How does that correlate with installing fences here in Northeast Florida?
Well, Frank, at Coil Fencing, we like to take the coach approach. Implement a game plan and execute it on the field. That's been our winning recipe for 99 years.
And you tackle more than fences, right?
Absolutely. We also service and install automatic gates, perfect for multifamily communities, your business, or residents.
The best defense is a good offense. Visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass. He told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Attention poker players, the tables are heating up at all Best Bet locations. Don't miss a minute of the action with $800 high hands every Friday and Saturday, $555 Cinco de Mayo high hands every 20 minutes, and the Memorial Day $30,000 cash giveaway. And don't forget to earn those entries to win a side-by-side all-terrain vehicle starting May 1st in Best Bet St. Augustine. Get to your location of choice, Jacksonville, Orange Park, or St. Augustine, and take home your winnings. For all the details, visit bestbetjacks.com.
You've always known Beard's Diamonds for, well, our diamonds. But have you heard about our watches? Beard's is proud to introduce a new and exciting selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces. If you've tried to find a Rolex these days, you know how hard it is. But Beard's has scoured the country to put together an incredible selection of pristine Rolexes, thoroughly inspected and fully authenticated. These are like new Rolexes, all the most popular models, GMT Masters, Submariners, Sky Dwellers, and more. Come in today and check out our new collection of amazing timepieces. And if you have a Rolex to sell or trade, Beard's buyers are here with top dollar offers. Beard's Diamonds, always looking for new ways to give our customers the finest quality and the guaranteed best value price. Locally owned and operated for more than 4 decades, Beard's is your trusted source for fine diamonds, exquisite designer jewelry, stunning engagement rings, and now the finest luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Come find the Rolex of your dreams now. Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way.
All right, hour number 2 of the Marvin Gaye. Heard quite a few songs yesterday from Marvin Gaye out at the beach. Went back between that and the PGA Tour Radio Network. Just a thrilling Sunday. You head south, the rain stopped. Got about 3.5 hours worth of no sun, but you know, if I could be any animal, I'd be a pelican.
Wow.
You know why? They're not involved in the food chain. They're a big ass bird. They'll eat fish. They'll screw around with other birds.
Eat garbage.
They're beautiful looking, so you know they're going to attract female pelicans. But they don't have to worry about getting eaten by any other animals. Now, I guess because we did a deep dive on this yesterday while on the beach, the GF and I, as long as they can get through like the first year, because they'll eat their own.
Of course.
And siblings will do that too. And it's not because siblings like the taste of their brother or sister. It's because they want to shorten the food chain for them. It's easier for them to get food.
Selfish.
If they can knock off the brother or sister. Yeah.
I thank God that we're not part of the eating our own, animal group. Thank God for that.
I'm sure there's some countries that we don't know about where stuff like that happens.
I mean, I was around my family this weekend for Mother's Day, and none of them looked edible. So I couldn't even imagine. My dad looks like he would taste like ass.
Yeah, even in the era of the serial killers, I mean, really, it was only Dahmer.
Yeah.
And Dahmer used it as strictly an appetizer. I mean,
never an entree, never the full course.
I don't want to misrepresent Dahmer because a lot of people thought he just sat down with a steak knife and the fork. He didn't. He would use a little slice here, slice there, as to maybe replace the vegetables or something. But some pretty good stuff there. I saw there were a couple of people met the electric chair over the weekend, or it might have actually been on.
Are they
Friday.
still doing the electric chair or a lethal injection?
You know what's great about the electrical chair is whenever you hear about that, there's like a chance it doesn't work.
Oh, yeah, and they have to like redo it. I've heard many things about botched executions.
Right.
And they're terrible. But I mean, the guy had it coming. What can you say?
Right.
Whatever happened, just like the firing squad.
Exactly. That'd be the quickest way to go.
Yeah. I think in Texas, you can still choose that as one of the options. I have to look it up.
At different states, different laws. I mean, look at the Boston Marathon guy, man. He gets 3 hots in a cot, and he's costing those taxpayers who knows how many thousands a year, every single year. We're in the Boston Marathon. We just had the Boston Marathon, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
What's it been now? 10 years? 12 years? It's been a long, long, long time.
Since the Jokar, the Sarnevs.
Insane. Absolutely insane. All right. Let me read this to you.
By the way, real quick.
Yeah.
5 U.S. states you can still get the firing squad. Idaho, Mississippi, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Utah.
Okay.
Fun fact. Bring that one to dinner.
Mm-hmm. Down the road here, less than an hour, there's been some historic I mean, that's Bundy, that's Voorhees, that's Rawlings.
And what penitentiary is that?
I think it's like in Stark.
Okay, I know Sumter County also has like Sumter County has a federal prison where they have like some 9/11 like all kinds of people, and it's in the most rural, backwoods part of Florida. It's so random.
No, I don't know. I love watching that stuff on TV and just learning about it. I studied about it in college. I never thought a criminology degree would get me here, but hey, that's life. And I have no regrets. Okay. Again, I try to stay away from this crap because for the most part, and I say this about my colleagues, okay, there's so much misinformation about this franchise that your trust should be, without any question, whether you like us or do not like us, and I'm saying individual, not as a group. The information is so much more, accessible, and obviously the information is so much more correct around here than you get nationally. It almost feels like it's a problem for them, a punishment for them. You just talked about them. Actually, we were talking about that off air. But, when I used to have to cover the Bausch and Lomb women's tennis tournament when I was in my mid-20s out on Amelia Island, to me that was a punishment. And it's not because I didn't like going out there and seeing Anna Kournikova and some of these players play tennis, but I've never really been a tennis guy. And it was a long-ass drive, and I wasn't a tennis expert. And you talk about difficult names to pronounce. Holy tamale, was that brutal. But anyway, so to me, it was kind of like a punishment. That's the way a lot of the national media treats the Jaguars. We're an inconvenience for them. So I'm flipping through today, and I get the Bleacher Report, which at times can be good. At other times, I'm just like, what in the hell are they talking about? And they get into this article where they gave the Jaguars an F for what they've done so far in the offseason. Now, I'm not going to argue with the grade. If you think it's an F because they only brought in Rodriguez, they made the trade for Roro, they had the 10 draft picks, which a lot of people graded very poorly. They got guys when they could have gotten them later in all that. I'm not going to defend that. Okay, just because this takes us into a different part of the reasoning. He says, and I'll read it to you. He says, how exactly did the Jacksonville Jaguars improve in the offseason? Travis Hunter is expected to be healthy, already on the roster. And aside for signing Chris Rodriguez Jr. to get more physical run on the offense, the Jaguars did little to nothing other than trying to improve upon last season. Otherwise, Travis Etienne and Devin Lloyd are significant losses. Okay. All of that is fine. But this is what blew me away. Mike Sando, who I've had on quite a bit over the years, he's a Hall of Fame writer, Hall of Fame voter, I should say. I did see Jimmy Smith out at practice Saturday as well. His son was in town with Tulsa Arena Football, coached by Shade Tree, Marvin Jones, and they were playing right here on Sunday. But it was good to catch up with Jimmy. I hadn't seen him in a little bit. He's been living in Jacksonville for for a little bit of time, and it's good to have him back here in the city. But anyway, I know Mike Sando, and I enjoy what he does. But he reported on an anonymous NFL executive who had this to say, and I quote, "I did not like what Jacksonville did at all." Okay. Quote, "Their picks reflect numbers, workouts, pro days, the kind of stuff more than film. We are going to be smarter than everyone else. It was a traits draft for them." End of quote. Okay. Hold on. This is the total opposite of what this franchise is doing. I talked about it with Tom McManus on Saturday. I talked about it with a couple of other people on Saturday. This new brass, I mean, it's not like we have a huge, vast experience to say it's going to be this way or it's going to be that way because they're entering year number 2. But this franchise, it feels like, man, they trust the film. They trust what they do on Saturday. I had Ryan O'Halloran on, as I do each and every Tuesday night. He told us a couple of weeks ago, right after the draft, that if you look at the 10 draft picks, they've played in 413 college football games. 413. Okay? I mean, everyone that they drafted has played. The former regime was about measurements. It was about taking Trayvon Walker over Aiden Hutchinson because he had a longer reach. His arm length was an inch longer or whatever it could be. Those who covered this team will come right out and say that there's a feeling of the gut. What he did on Saturday. This is going to be a good football player. And it's not about the measurements. They don't even send the important guys to the combine. They don't tell us who they're interviewing. They don't bring people in and do interviews because their mind is made up. They don't want to have that changed based on a 15-minute sit down after all the work that they have done. So let me be crystal clear about this. I have no problem with them saying that it's an F. I'm not arguing that. I disagree. Okay. But I'm not arguing that point. I'm arguing the reasoning here. This is awful. The fact that they based it on numbers, they based it on workouts and pro days, and they think they are the smartest people in the room. My opinion. Wrong analysis. I mean, frightening wrong. If I didn't know better, I would have thought this would have been 3 years ago or 4 years ago, a Trent Baalke draft, not a James Gladstone draft. So, again, we don't know. We don't know the answer to the draft. We have no idea what's actually going to transpire from this. And there are a lot of examples where I never dive into a national media report, especially from this guy who I don't even know who he is. I'm not even going to mention his name and give him the attention. Mike Sando, I will mention because I have a lot of respect for Mike, and he does a nice job. But this isn't Mike Sando's comments. This is coming from an anonymous NFL executive. I've always hated the anonymous quote. It's not going to change now. Hell, journalism's broken now. I mean, it's certainly not going to change in this aspect. But I just wonder if Jaguars fans, now that I've read that to you, again, if you can get through the grade and talk about the reasoning of what they did, that's what I'm trying to get at. This is shocking to me. I know you've only had a year to digest it, and year 2, we don't know anything about these rookies. Do you feel like this is more of what they did on Saturday, trusting them as good football players? Or do you think there's some truth to what this anonymous front office executive said?
I think it's almost impossible to tell from our point of view. Like, yes, they don't send anyone to the combine, but that you'd have to be really naive to think that they don't look at all of the measurables from the combine.
Right. Well, they send the medical people and they send some scouts.
And just because they're not there doesn't mean that they don't know all of that stuff. Maybe they're saying that just because of the lack of production, maybe from the tight end who was taken first. And so that's their way of saying, like, they didn't even look at the film. They just saw that he's a big guy, a tough guy that could block. And maybe the same with the 6'7" tight end. I don't know. I think it's impossible for us to know if they're just going based off film or going on. I think they're going off both, like every franchise probably does.
Yeah. I wouldn't have mentioned if he didn't say that at the end there. This is really surprising me. I'll ask some other writers about it later in the week. I'll ask O'Halloran about it tomorrow night, and I'll ask Osher about it coming up on Wednesday night. We'll see. And, there's a couple of things that come out of this. First of all, Jacksonville's, dare I say, relevant. Jacksonville's being talked about. It was discussed at the NFL's owners meetings. I had Jordan Schultz on lately. He said that the talk now on Jacksonville is completely changed, and in just 1 year, maybe there are people that are looking at this young general manager and the way that he's doing things and saying, hey, it's an anonymous quote. I'll take a shot here. I'll take a shot there, which I have no problem with.
Yeah, I actually like Sando's articles because of that. He always has like the unnamed GMs saying stuff because to me, I trust Sando. You obviously do too. You have him on your show a lot. So I don't think that he's going and making up quotes.
No.
And I think that that's the only way guys are going to be honest nowadays is that, hey, yeah, you could put my quote in an article as long as I'm anonymous GM guy. Because you're not going to get any real anything out of these guys ever. Like that's just they just don't give you anything because they don't have to. So to me, I've always enjoyed Sando's articles because of stuff like that, and I do trust him that is a real quote from a real guy. Whether the guy is just making it up out of thin air, I don't know. But yeah, I like the unnamed quotes or the unnamed GM quotes.
All right, let's come back. Let's grab some of your questions. I also want to dive into some other rookies that I saw. A couple of guys that are not necessarily talked about all that much. There's 4 of them that I have an opinion on. I'll also get into Borkircher just a little bit, their top pick in this year's draft class. I thought it was very interesting as to what Liam Cohen said, really his talk about the 12 personnel, the 13 personnel. For those of you out there who do not know, and I know most of you do, 12 personnel is 1 back double tight. 13 personnel is 1 back 3 tight. Remember, they started that last year, the jumbo package with Cole Van Lanen. Then he went across the entire offensive line and got paid for it. But, there is that feeling that Jacksonville really wants to be a power run team this year. And Cohen was pretty expressive about that on Saturday. So we got a lot to do. We got a lot to cover with you tonight till 8.
Huddle up. Who are we?
1010XL.
What do we do?
Sports Radio.
Where do we do it?
Jacksonville.
Top salespeople don't rely on talent. They follow a system. At Sandler Sales Jacksonville Boot Camp, you'll learn how to control conversations, handle objections, and close with confidence. Matt Rocco with Sandler Sales here. We can help. There's a 2-day sales boot camp in Jacksonville, May 13th and 14th. We'll show you how to increase performance or that of your team. Call 904-646-1900. That's 904-646-1900 to reserve your seat today.
Prosser here. When I'm doing home improvements, I like to deal with a local company, and I found one for windows and doors, Cash Building Material. They've been doing business in Jacksonville for 70 years, and with their experienced window and door specialists, you'll get no subcontractors, no runaround, just their own experienced crews who treat your house like it's theirs. Get a quote today. Thank me tomorrow. For windows and doors, search Cash Building Materials. Windows and doors done right.
If you've been searching for answers to your quarterback questions, he's the lighthouse to guide you home.
I'm Benny Thompson, and they call me the quarterback whisperer.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Wrapped up by George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
What's happening, beautiful people? E.T. here. Let me tell you about a little something that's happening right here in my side of town in Fleming Island. Encore Research Group is advancing the future of medicine through clinical research studies focused on weight loss, diabetes, hypertension, and more. Their team of multi-specialty doctors are proudly serving folks in Fleming Island, Green Coast Springs, and Middleburg. If you ever wondered whether a research study might be right for you, find out at EncoreDocs.com to see if you qualify. Encore Research Group. The future of medicine starts here.
Ackerman Cancer Center is the community leader in cancer treatment, offering advanced proton therapy treatment for cancers near vital organs or complex, hard-to-reach areas. Take charge of your well-being with AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, Whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, johnautomotivejacks.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not being afraid of the crosses of life. Life can be difficult. Maybe today you're carrying a cross of worry or stress. Let me encourage you to remember that when Christ got on the big cross at Golgotha, he destroyed all the little crosses that we face in our life. He set us free from fear, worry, and anxiety. Our job is not to be carried by the cross, but to be carried by our faith.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, the Jaguars' schedule comes out on Thursday night. Obviously a first-place schedule, but it's not as bad as perhaps you may think. Winning percentage for opponents is .490. And if you look at the entire division, I mean, case in point, the Bears are first at .550, Miami .542, Arizona .538. You get down to the AFC South, they're bottom feeders here. They're not numbered, but I'm guessing Jacksonville's probably 24th, 25th at .490. And then you have Tennessee at .476. Houston at .474, and where are you? Indianapolis, .465. So there you have it. And again, things change every year, as we do know, in the NFL. I want to get to the top overall pick, talk about Nate Borkircher. First things first, though, let's get back to Liam. Liam Cohen on Saturday was a really good presser, I did think, and all this talk about did he reach, thoughts on this tight end and where they're going, where the league is going with more of a 12 personnel and more of a 13 personnel.
I think not only what they can maybe provide within their skill sets, but also what it then allows the other guys to do, right? Like what that allows Strange to do differently or more frequently, whether that's running, or, blocking, or catching. The diversity of skill sets is important. I think they're different enough, but also wired similarly. And, that's what I think is fun about it is it allows not only those guys to go help us in their own skill sets, but also maybe help other guys in their skill sets just by adding that depth and competition.
All right, there's a 3-inch difference between Tanner Koziel and Nate Borkircher. And here's what I got out of it. They both weigh 250. If you heard the interview I did earlier tonight with, Koziel, he looks like he could add 30 pounds of good weight. The frame doesn't look like it's carrying 250 pounds. It does for Borkircher. It absolutely does. He is a very thick guy. I think what I got out of it was kind of what I expected. He caught the balls. Nothing blew me away as far as route running. Nothing blew me away as far as speed. Again, I would classify it as pretty much as I expected. Where with Koziel, I saw a little bit more upside. And it's impossible not to notice the 6'7" frame. And, others, and I respect each and every one, talked about his speed and how they thought it was impressive. I didn't necessarily see that, although you could tell how athletic he really is. And if you go back and you watch his tape, they're all contested catches. He's not separating from guys. But when you're 6'7", I mean, do you really have to, as opposed to someone else. Just going to give you a couple of other thoughts on this before we get to some of your questions. The primary thing I was looking for, as I said, was football IQ. And what I mean by that is you want to see guys going the wrong way. You want to see guys doing things. And honestly, after observing practice, it was really simplified for them. It would have really stood out if something bad happened in that fashion. It didn't. So I still have no feeling at all towards these guys as far as football IQ. Wanted to see soft hands and if anyone had deep speed. I didn't see the deep speed. That just didn't show up. And, Josh Cameron was working on the side. So we didn't even have an opportunity to see anything from him as far as what he can bring this football team. CJ Williams was very interesting. Okay, here's a guy who's been to a few different schools, Stanford, 6'1", 203. So he's not the big ball, he's not the big tall wide receiver. As we've talked about Koziol as the big tight end. He's not the big one. And he ran somewhere in the neighborhood of a 4.55, a 4.53. But he's thick. It looks like, this kid could have a chance. Right now, I'd label him as a practice squad guy. But does he have a chance to win that fifth wide receiver job as a four-core special teams guy? As someone, if he's out there, remember, this organization really takes wide receiver blocking seriously. Here we are talking about 12 personnel and 13 personnel and running the football. They want wide receivers out there that can block. But he made some nice grabs. He showed, I thought, some athleticism over the middle a few times. Again, non-contested, also on the sideline. I was really impressed considering the set of circumstances there with C.J. Williams. No deep speed, though. Didn't see any of that. The two other guys, I didn't really see much with Jalen Husky. They were doing individual drills out on the second field at the Miller Electric Center. I'm not going to lie to you and say he did this, did that. I'm just not going to do it. Again, as far as Albert Regis, Emmanuel Pregnon, guys in the ditch, could tell very little. I watched them do a couple of things, but I basically followed the football. Okay, they had a couple of different quarterbacks that were out there, Joey Aguilar, and they also brought in a guy off the street by the name of Derek Robertson. So those are the two quarterbacks, and there were 27 overall rookies out there, and there were quite a few second-year guys that were allowed to be out there. One of those was Jaquindon Jackson, if you have not heard, was released today by the Jaguars. The Jaguars did sign veteran Amir Abdullah, I think 13 years in the NFL. So anyway, I spent a lot of time on both edges. And the reason why I did that is I think that edge right now, today, far and away, is still the biggest question mark for this football team. All right, look at what they did last year. How important is rookie minicamp? All right, 10 draft picks, 17 undrafted guys out there working. Last year, 2 undrafted rookies made the team and contributed to the team. When you look at Danny Strigow and you look at Green II. So I was watching Wesley Williams out of Duke, right? 6'3", 256. I mean, absolutely put together. A guy that if you're looking at body types, he's one you're going to look at and say, oh, yeah, he can play football. He looks the part. He's the guy you want, that old expression, taken through the airport, an airport guy. Of course, they don't go through the airport. They just go to the tarmac. But he looks the part. With no pads on and not really going, not going head-to-head against the tight end or against the tackle or something like that, I can't give you much more of an opinion than that. Although, he certainly looked only good. I mean, there's only positive things I can say about him, right? There's no negativity here, nor should there be. That's the point. And it's taken me years and years to try to recognize this. Come out and say, oh, my God, he's this. Oh, my God, he's that. I have no one to blame but myself. I've overdone it forever. But I thought he looked really good. Now, same deal with Zach Durfee, who's a couple of inches bigger, and he's around the same weight at 258. Absolutely different body types. Couple of inches that they're just built differently. Dufresne looks a little bit, I'd be unfair to say not as put together. It's just a different body mold. I don't know how that's going to transition when it comes to being able to get at the quarterback. But both look pretty good. Both did as far as the first step and doing things like that. They didn't look like they shouldn't have been there, if that makes any sense. But that's basically all I got for you. I thought Jamari Taylor looked pretty good as an undrafted free agent out of Virginia. He's basically really the only one that stood out there. And as I said a little bit earlier in the program, if you missed it, Josh Cameron worked on the side, so didn't get an opportunity as well to really say much there. 23-42, watch Charlize Theron new movie. And the guy was keeping corpses and making beef jerky out of them. Well, that's a must-see. Can you give me the name, please? I thought I saw Charlize Theron and something else that was pretty new recently as well. I can't remember exactly what it was. 1789.
Apex is the name of the movie.
Makes beef jerky. Okay. Rick and JJ just made you laugh harder there. You think you have cry about dad taste? Rick, you going to see Journey on Saturday from the 0107? Yes, I am. Absolutely. Going with some buddies from the Miller Electric Center. Or the Miller Electric.
Oh, yeah, there's some cannibal stuff in this movie.
Is there?
Yes.
Apex?
Yes. It's about like a rock climber and a kayaker who find themselves being hunted in the wild.
I saw it.
Of
I saw
Australia.
I saw it. I don't remember. Maybe I was multitasking. Maybe very early on, he meets her. She meets him at like a rundown gas station convenience store, and he presents himself as like the perfect guy, and there's some other hillbillies in there that are kind of giving her the business, and he's the perfect guy. Then he ends up becoming the true antagonist.
Yes. He reveals he's a practitioner of cannibalistic tribal rituals. He wears dentures to conceal the teeth that he has filed into sharp points.
That's the problem with phones, and if you have a game on as well. I can't believe I have to go back and watch it. I can't believe I missed that. But I did see the movie. I've always been a big fan of Charlize Theron.
Wait, you watched this whole movie?
Yeah, I just told you I watched it, but I
thought you meant like the trailer for the movie.
No, I watched it.
Holy crap.
With the Jet, but there's,
That's hilarious. You were locked in.
It's pretty rare nowadays to just put the phone down completely.
Yeah, true.
And watch a movie.
Especially during baseball season. I got to have my Braves on.
There's no doubt. And I don't know if what was going on. I've been watching these hockey playoffs. They've been outstanding. But I remember that as a matter of fact, the best way to describe it to you, the chase through the mountain and the river, is kind of like Deliverance.
Oh, one of the most scariest movies of my life.
Okay, with Burt Reynolds and
Squeal Like a Pig.
Oh, my God. And those are kind of the guys, those country hillbillies that she meets in the gas station. And they're like, trying to hit on her. But they're not like trying to hit on her like, when you go out on a date with me. They're more like hovering around her like they're going to attack her.
They're going to eat her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben explains that he has consumed others, including his own mother, and that he intends to do the same with Sasha. Your own mother.
What is it with mothers?
Goodness gracious.
Anthony Perkins, Psycho, right? That comes from the Ed Gein school. Ed Gein kept Mama alive. Ed Gein would cut human skin and make it into cloth.
Yes.
I mean,
so is that like, so they sort of stole some of that for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, maybe? Right. Okay.
Right. Yeah,
what a guy.
They took quite a few out of that.
Ed
Silence
Gein,
of the Lambs.
He sounds like a real jerk.
Ed Gein should be on Mount Rushmore. I got to tell you right now.
He doesn't get enough love.
He does not. I mean, look at that state. Jeffrey Dahmer gets way more love out of Wisconsin.
Oh, they're both from Wisconsin. Even. Jeez.
You know what else is if you were to, it's going to be Dahmer, Bundy, Gacy, and then it should be the Green River Killer. It should be Gary Ridgway, who's got the most career.
His numbers are crazy.
Right, but they were all
It's like
transient.
Barry
They were all
Bonds.
hookers. I mean, no one knew that they were missing. But you know what's really fascinating about that? If you look at Mount Rushmore, Gacy and Dahmer only killed men. And
I think I knew that.
they were gay.
Yeah.
Bundy and Ridgway only killed women. And they were heterosexual.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty weird.
It's like because it does become like a sexual thing for some of these guys. Like the whole murder. It's weird. I can't explain it,
But
obviously.
I tell you what's weird is to see a crossover like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, or like,
So he was just anybody could get it.
The BTK killer.
I don't know much about him besides
Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
He took like 10 years off.
Wow. Well, that's like the Zodiac while the guy they think was the Zodiac was in prison for like pedophilia stuff. Just what a miracle that all the letters stopped coming while this guy just so happened to be locked up. I mean, we all know who it was.
Dennis Rader, man. He looks like a guy in town that I know well.
Oh, my God.
I call him the BTK killer all the time. His wife doesn't appreciate it.
What's the BTK stand for?
Bind, torture, and kill. Oh, my God. But
I'm looking at a picture.
If you could solve one conspiracy or thing that we don't know, most people would say JFK, I don't know, the pyramids. I mean, there's a countless amount of things.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention a few.
I want to know, for me, number one would be the Zodiac.
Why, though? Because don't you know it was that guy?
Just because the movie said it was the guy.
No, the book, too. It's just too perfect that when he was locked up, the letters suddenly stopped coming. Like, come on, man.
I want confirmation. And number two.
I get that.
Number two for me would be Hoffa.
Whether he's buried, what happened to him.
A lot of people think he's under the Meadowlands.
Right. I've always heard that.
That Psycho the Iceman, he put it in his book, Richard Kuklinski, that he did it. No one believes him. That's another thing. People try to trade credit for it.
Yeah. Now, I saw an episode, remember that show Mythbusters, where they went under, this was before, they redid the stadium or made a new stadium. They went under there and I guess did some type of readings looking for human remains and never found Jimmy Hoffa.
There's a guy trying to get me to write a true crime book or a podcast.
I would love for you to do a podcast.
There's so many of them out there right now.
Yeah, but you're a professional broadcaster. Like, yeah, there's people that do podcasts that probably know the information, but they're not as good.
Well, I've read so many books on
as you. You would be great in your knowledge of it and your broadcasting ability.
Maybe during the off-season, let me talk to, actually, the old rule in radio is just do it and then be told not to.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's start a serial killer Wednesday around here.
I'm down for that. Good, I'm working Wednesday.
We'll tie in the mob. We'll tie in shark attacks. We'll tie in how to beat lights in town as far as traffic. We'll tie in concoctions. Still waiting for the ultimate, the pure cure to a hangover. Right? Everyone's got a different theory. Everyone's got their go-to. That worked for me. Let me consider that. I think that's part of what we're going to do. Of course, we'll stop once training camp gets underway. But what do you say? Rest of May, June, into July?
A new season is coming, and so is the big reveal. Join 1010XL all day Thursday for the big reveal. Set up by Renewal by Anderson, Custom Windows and Doors, and Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Everybody, Mike Dempsey for big #1 Duval Ford. Look, if you're a busy mom or you're running kids all over town, you don't have time to sit in a service waiting room all day. That's why the Duval Ford mobile service is such a game changer. Duval Ford will come right to your home or work so you can keep doing what matters most. Duval Ford will handle the service without disrupting your day, so visit DuvalFord.com to schedule your next mobile service. Big #1 Duval Ford mobile service. Wherever you need them, they'll come to you.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval!
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Imagine this. You've got the burgers ready in a backyard full of guests. And folks, that's a strong lineup. But a clogged drain on a holiday? That can change everything in a hurry. Before kickoff, make sure your plumbing is ready to go. Call Duck Duck Rooter. They've got experience, honest pricing, and a team you can count on. And right now, get your main sewer line cleaned, plus a camera inspection for just $129. Outside cleanout is required because the only thing you want overflowing this weekend is that cooler. So when you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
I'm the thread that's already inside the house. In the closet, under the bed, in the car. But I don't want your money or your TV. I can't be scared away or negotiated with. I'm patient and quiet. I don't sleep. You can't call the cops on me. You can't even see me. I'm the threat of family fire. And as long as your guns aren't stored securely, I'll be there. Protect your family. Secure all your guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, busy day for the Jaguars. They made quite a few moves, and this comes after Saturday's rookie minicamp. Very productive day, I did think, overall, for the Jaguars. Amir Abdullah is the newest member of the Jacksonville Jaguars, a 13-year veteran to kind of shore up that running back group. And, this is a guy who's returned 160 kicks in his career for 4,436 yards, 10 punts in his career. I talked about that last week, where Parker Washington has gotten dinged as a punt returner. You know they're going to pay him. My guess is still before the start of camp. You're going to make 16, 17, 18, some odd $1 million a year. Do you want him returning punts based on what he did a year ago? Yeah. Do you want him returning punts? Here's the way I look at that. If you're up 21 points, in college they make changes like that. In the NFL, they really don't. You want another guy out there that you can trust. It's a kick returner, can also be a punt returner. Same applies, in my opinion, to Bashal Tutin, who I think we all feel as though is going to be, a bigger part of this offense, could be the starting back. They brought back Sal Wormley, who was cut last week, and they placed Jordan White on the reserve retired list. He was not at practice Saturday, and the big surprise for me, they waived Jaquindon Jackson. Had a heck of a camp a year ago. And again, it's just a crowded backfield. So they had to make a transaction today. That one right there absolutely did surprise me. All these people now saying that they tune in for that show on Wednesday.
They better.
So Ed Gein got a whole show in 2025. I watch all those documentaries. And I think it was like a 6 or 7 or 8 part series.
Yeah,
it was
called
pretty good.
Monster.
Absolutely, I saw it. They named him Monster after back to Charlize Theron starred in that
Classic movie.
And now
she even went through Ocala, I believe.
Oh, well, yeah, that bar is right out there in Port Orange.
Yeah, well, that's more
where they arrested her.
Closer to Ormond Beach-ish, but it's like in the middle.
It's called The Last Resort. I've been there a few times.
You have. You've sent me pictures.
I spent a weekend there one afternoon. They're like, "Can you please leave, sir?"
Don't they have like the movie running?
Oh, yeah,
they have stuff around.
They got the movie running on a loop. You walk in.
What's her name look so incredibly ugly in that movie?
She's
Both
such an
of them.
attractive girl.
Richie, Christina Ricci, is that her name? Her like lover in the movie. They somehow made them both look grotesque, which is movie magic because they're both beautiful women.
You walk in there, and it says, "Welcome to the Last Resort, home of hot women. Home of hot men and killer women."
Love that.
Here's the guy who's telling me that Manson bowed out. Yeah. What if I told you I had a Manson autograph? Not saying I do or not. I'm just saying, what if I told you that I did? I don't. 0148. So you're saying the Rams picked Chris Long number 2 instead of Calais Campbell is a great pick because it's the same exact thing as picking Hutchinson over Walker. What? I don't know what I don't know what you're trying to get at there. Calais Campbell was bigger, longer. I don't know. Hey, listen, I think everyone around here wants to see Trayvon Walker do really well. And he got a big raise, and, I hope he has a phenomenal career. But don't kid yourself. The pick was Aiden Hutchinson. Just don't kid yourself. He was a better player on Saturday. He's a better player on Sunday. Now.
And they fired the guy that made the decision.
Right. And there maybe people will argue and say, well, he's not a better every down player. Okay. Is he better against the run? Probably not. Can he move around and do different things the way Walker did at Georgia and has done it? Probably not. But when you're getting paid this amount of money, you need to sack the quarterback. And I get before the injuries of a year ago, I mean, Trayvon had gone consecutive years with 10.5 and 10.5 sacks. I get that. But to me, Hutchinson is better. Oh, my God, we're up against it, aren't we? Hacker Nation's coming up in a few. Final thoughts after this.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
You love your land, and you have plans for it. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love the great deals on their versatile, reliable lineup, helping you turn dream projects into reality. Visit your Kubota dealer today for the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th. 0 down and up to 84 months financing available and save up to $3,500 off select compact tractors. Sale ends soon. Stop by your local dealer or go to gokubota.com. Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione. Campione Law. Looking for a real career with great pay and full benefits? Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. As a growing, family-owned company that cares about its employees, they're hiring lawn technicians in the Jacksonville area. No experience required. This is a salaried position with top industry pay. Full benefits, a 401k match, and paid training. Apply today at JulingtonCreekPestControl.com. Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Equal opportunity employer.
Picken here. See clearly with the Eye Associates and trusted optometrists Zachary Boskool and Alice LaFlamme. From comprehensive eye exams, dry eye care, glaucoma management, diabetic eye care, and more, Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme are dedicated to protecting your vision. Immediate availability at all 5 Jacksonville locations. Schedule today with Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme by calling the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD at 296-0098.
Hey, it's Greg. You know, working here at 1010XL, you're constantly surrounded by food. So I told you last week I finally stopped hearing about Awaken 180 and actually started it myself. So one weekend, I'm down 9 pounds. 40 by the 4th, yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. Look, I thought the hard part was going to be the food. I pictured myself, opening a box and going, all right, here comes the sadness. But no, the food's been really good and easy too, which matters because I'm on the road a lot during the day and I don't have time to play nutrition scientist in the convenience store parking lot. Awaken 180 lays it all out. A schedule, a meal plan, the yes-no shopping list, even recipes in the app. And there's much more variety than I expected. A doctor friend said to me something that stuck. You'll never outrun the fork and spoon. And he's right. I've tried. It doesn't work. Well, Awaken 180 gets the food part right. And when that happens, the scale moves pretty fast. I'm down 9 pounds in week 1. So let's keep going. Call now and do it with me. Call 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!
It's showtime.
That's right. The whole world loves Beetlejuice. It's a rowdy, rambunctious, rollicking good time. And a big, fantastical funhouse. We're raising the bar and occasionally the dead. You've never seen anything quite like Beetlejuice. May 12th through the 17th, Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets on sale at fscjartistseries.org.
The Jacksonville Waves tip-off opening night, May 15th at 7 p.m. in the brand new Upshot League at 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. Experience the excitement of women's professional basketball and be a part of history. Get your tickets now at wavesupshot.com.
This is Victor Patel, CEO of North Florida Medical Center. Have you been in an auto accident? Are you feeling pain or stiffness? Our board-certified team has over 15 years' experience helping patients recover through chiropractic care, physical therapy, pain management, primary care, and neurology. Even minor injuries can cause long-term problems if left untreated. Schedule your free consultation today at nfmcjax.com. North Florida Medical Center, bringing the care back to healthcare.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Hacker Nation is here. Good weekend.
It was. The young man turned 7 years old, so we took him down to Blizzard Beach Water Park. And, well, there is something about water parks. You a water slide guy?
I was earlier in life, not as much now.
Man, there is one thing there called the Summit Plummet.
Yeah.
It's 120 feet, basically, straight down.
Really?
Now, he wasn't tall enough to ride it. I looked at that thing, and I said, maybe when he's tall enough, I'll go on it with him, but I wanted no part of that beast on Saturday.
My girls were young. I used to love taking them to that. As a matter of fact, where I live in Bartram Springs, they got 3 pools. One of them's got a slide. It's very, very nice.
Oh, nice.
Been the case there for, the 20 years I've been there. All right, listen, we're short on time. What do you got coming up tonight?
Yeah, obviously, we're going to review Jaguar rookie minicamp, talk about the overall Jaguar roster. I got Luke Easterling from Athlon Sports is going to join me. Also talk a little Florida Gator recruiting with Tyler Harden of Swamp 247 and some NBA playoffs. Boy, the Knicks look good. We'll see what happens. They're awaiting the winner of Detroit and Cleveland. So we got a lot to do. We're with you till 10 o'clock. We're happy to be here.
All right, Hack, have a lot of fun. He's coming up right now. That's going to do it for us right here on this Monday edition of Into the Night. I do want to thank Tanner Koziel. Actually caught up with him after Jaguars rookie minicamp on Saturday over at the Miller Electric Center. All right. Hey, the good folks of the Blue Crab House, they rest tonight, but they're back at it tomorrow. $2 margaritas, $1 steamed oysters on Wednesday. Right off of San Jose there on Julington Creek Road. Love the Blue Crab House. That's going to do it. Thank you to JJ LaSelva. I am Rick Ballou, folks. Enjoy your Monday night. We'll talk again tomorrow at 6 o'clock.